Part 11. Lord Survival, My Shelter in Crocodile Territory. Author, Chi Wen. Chapter 102. Duan Wengzi, hand over all the remaining strategic materials to me and return to the inner wall. Duan Wengzi immediately ran over, handed over the materials, and said with red eyes and sobs, "Boss, you have to take care. Why are you crying? I'm not dead yet. If I die, I will die before you. Go back quickly." Wang Shuo took the backpack from Duan Wengzi. Looking at Duan Wengzi crying, Wang Shuo was already in a state of confusion, and now he was even more anxious. Wang Shuo was completely dissatisfied with these logistics personnel, and drove them all to the inner wall. But what they saw was that Wang Shuo took the lead and stood in front of them. Although they all came from Blue Star, they definitely didn't want to depend on anyone in their bones. Basically, they looked at Wang Shuo with the mentality of boss and employee. But at this moment, their mentality changed. Since they have to adapt to this game, they must accept the change of identity and role. And following such a lord seems, it's also good. Although at this time, most of the people in the territory have already felt that this battle is bound to be lost. But they all hope that their lord can create a miracle. Even Dong Fangling, who has always been unconvinced, has crystal eyes and a turbulent heart. The eyes looking at Wang Shuo are gradually blurred and full of admiration. "Lord, I am willing to fight side by side with you," someone shouted. This completely ignited the depressed mood of the crowd. "I am also willing to live and die with the Lord. Wang Shuo, I, Yan Fuja, obey you today. I have always been a little unconvinced before. From now on, you are my lord. Count me in as Radul. As long as you can lead me to life today, I will give you my life. Count me in, I." The surrounding militias were also infected by the emotions, and they competed to show their loyalty one by one. "Count me in, I." Wang Shuo was stunned for a while, and his heart could not calm down for a long time. Could it be, is this the will of the people? Wang Shuo immediately checked the will of the people in the territory. Wow, the average value reached 97 points. He remembered that at the beginning, it was only 78 points. What shocked Wang Shuo even more was that the loyalty of 5 people in the territory reached 100/100. At this moment, Wang Shuo was a little uneasy. He had always been very wary of these people in the territory. He did not trust them at all. But at this moment, his heart was shaken. The average loyalty of the people in Wana village reached 97 points, activating the territory attribute People's Will, activatable when loyalty is above 90. People's Will, the territory is stable and united, the efficiency of implementing government orders is increased by 20%, the willingness of people in the territory to join the army is increased by 20%, and they are more willing to follow the Lord to fight the enemy. Wang Shuo felt much better when he saw this territory attribute. Before he could experience it well, his expression suddenly changed. Because, on the one hand, some logistics team members ran out. These are the foundations of the territory's development, and they cannot be easily destroyed. On the other hand, the boss's attacks have already landed on the light wall. Go back quickly. The boss's attack is too high. You have no defensive equipment and your health is too low, so you will be killed instantly. Swear to live and die with the Lord. Someone else shouted. Although Wang Shuo was very moved, he wanted to curse even more. Damn it, we can still barely hold on, you are completely cannon fodder, and your death is worthless. Isn't it good to keep your life to build the territory? Yan Fuja, Lojal, I order you two to go back and preside over the arrow tower and energy tower on the inner wall. Wang Shuo had to find a job for them. While eating, Wang Shuo had already ordered Mutar to continue making arrows. Yes, Lord. The two ran back happily. Boom. With a loud bang, the city wall collapsed. Wang Shuo saw the boss's true appearance: White Wolf King, Tiger, Spider, Bull, Beetle. Each one was huge, with fangs on its face, and a fierce look. It was hard to mess with at first glance. And there were a few ordinary beasts that rushed in. Li Jiangguo, quickly push the bronze crossbow cart to the inner wall, and then give priority to killing the wild antelope boss. Militia squad, quickly move closer, in groups of 10, cross cover. Just hold the boss back. Cavalry squad, in groups of 2, fight together. Fight close to the inner wall. If you can't win, retreat immediately. A series of orders came out of Wang Shuo's mouth. Wang Shuo was not sure if his subordinates could delay long enough to create more attack opportunities for the bronze crossbow cart. Lord Survival, My Shelter in Crocodile Territory. Author, Qi Wen. Chapter 103. After hearing Wang Shuo's order, the militia team took quick action and held Man Niu back. Gong Ping and Gong Kai started fighting with the spider. Gulji and Bailey Liang fought with a giant ape. The two most ferocious silver bosses are dealt with by Ayub and Gong Zheng. The remaining ones are one golden armored warrior and one Wang Shuo. White Wolf King, ID, Wolf 11038 by Ming, Silver Boss. Level 23. Attack power, 490. Defense, 100. Health value, 10,000. Skills, Claw Attack, Bone Crushing, Bite. Ayub's level has been upgraded to level 26, and various attributes have also been greatly improved to cope with the level 23 White Wolf King. Wang Shuo also had some drumming in his heart. After all, the White Wolf King's attack power is as high as 490 points. At this moment, Wang Shuo discovered that Dong Fangling was still outside. Dong Fangling, you don't want your life, go back to the inner wall, Wang Shuo scolded with an angry look on his face. At this moment, he had no intention of taking care of this guest's emotions. Stop looking down on others. I will definitely live longer than you. You'd better take care of yourself. Dong Fangling was a little unconvinced and argued with a red face. She also looked nervously at the bosses and monsters around her, without even looking at Wang Shuo. Wang Shuo wanted to say something more, but the boss in front of him would not give him a chance to chat. A blue and white python that was more than 10 meters long raised its head upright and spat out a letter to Wang Shuo. The python has a bright red crown on its head, which seems to be able to squeeze out blood. The thick body is over 1 meter in diameter. She kept circling around Wang Shuo while staring straight at Wang Shuo, as if thinking about where to start. Human, delicious, cluck, cluck, cluck. The blue and white python giggled in a soft girlish voice. Wang Shuo's hair stood on end, and he became alert. He has always had a hard time accepting the fact that these bosses can talk. Some of the bronze bosses he encountered before were unable to speak. Obviously, this is related to their low levels and attributes. Wang Shuo snorted coldly and waved his spear. How dare you be so unruly as a little evil beast? After saying that, he held the gun in both hands, took a step back with his right foot, and was ready to attack. As the snake head kept circling around him, Wang Shuo had to stare at the snake head and spin along with it. Suddenly, the python poked its head out, opened its huge mouth, exposed its sharp fangs, and bit Wang Shuo's head fiercely. Wang Shuo has experienced a lot of battles, so he did not panic when faced with this situation. Instead of retreating, he advanced, holding the spear tightly with both hands, and pointed it at the snake's head. The blue and white python obviously knew how powerful the spear was. Just when her tongue was about to touch Wang Shuo, the spear was about to hit her throat. She wisely chose to give up attacking Wang Shuo and tilted her head to avoid the attack. Wang Shuo also narrowly escaped the fate of being swept away by the tongue. The python failed to hit the target and immediately moved towards Wang Shuo with its body, trying to trap Wang Shuo. The python's body was originally surrounding Wang Shuo. Now it kept narrowing the area and was about to tie up Wang Shuo. Wang Shuo had no choice but to point his spear at the ground and jump into the air with the help of the huge rebound force. But this gave the python an opportunity. The snake spit out the letter and attacked Wang Shuo again. The bright red and slender snake letter is divided into two branches at the front, like an open whip. If you look closely, you can see that there are barbs all over it. If you are hit, you will not only be injured, but you may even be tied up and swallowed by a python. Wang Shuo was horrified. There was no point of focus in the air, so he had no choice but to use his spear to point at Snake Xian. In this way, Wang Shuo's flame spear was directly caught in the python's tongue. Wang Shuo panicked. At this moment, he suddenly got wise and took out a thunderbolt, and threw it in while the snake's mouth was wide open. Bang! A loud noise sounded from the python's mouth. Although it only caused 500 points of damage, it successfully injured the python's tongue. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Lord Survival, My Shelter in Crocodile Territory. Author, Chi Wen. Chapter 104. But, the blue and white python roared angrily, even a little unclear. She turned her huge body, and her tail kept whipping the ground around her. The surrounding arrow towers and the outer walls that had not yet collapsed in pieces, stirring up countless smoke and dust. Wang Shuo had to jump left and right like a monkey to avoid the python's attack. Although Ayub next to him had changed his job to a general and put on chain mail, his situation was not much better than Wang Shuo's. He was dealing with the silver boss, the Tiger Cade. Every time he fought, Ayub would lose health points, ranging from dozens to hundreds. He did not avoid the tiger's edge, but confronted Cade head-on every time. Human, it is your honor to die in my mouth. You have fought with me for so long, you are qualified to be remembered by me, tell me your name. Bah, what are you, just a beast, Ayub spitted with disdain, and there was blood in it. If you are stubborn, then go to hell, Cade said, and with a tiger roar, he launched a sonic attack. This kind of attack can temporarily make people lose consciousness. Sure enough, Ayub was stunned. Cade showed a human smile, jumped high, and made another pounce. Just when the tiger claw was about to hit Ayub, he finally woke up. Iron Wall. This move is absolutely defensive, which can naturally offset Cade's fierce attack. -2. A red number -2 appeared above Ayub's head. Cade showed a puzzled look. It was incredible that he didn't kill the human in front of him with a big move. Humph, it's my turn, Ayub snorted coldly, and while the tiger Cade had just fallen from the air and was unable to adjust his posture, he activated the skill Purple Thunder Breaking Sky Strike. Cade's back was immediately cut by the Qing longsword, leaving a deep wound, and the tiger bones could be seen. Roar. A wailing sound that resounded through the world came from Cade's mouth. The battle between Ayub and Cade can be said to be extremely fierce, with every sword drawing blood and every punch hitting the flesh. Gong Zheng's battle was not so bloody and violent. Although the silver boss Bai Ming has an attack power of 490 points, the damage he can cause to Gong Zheng is very limited. Each time he only loses a few dozen points of health, he does not use life potions to replenish his health. Although the White Wolf King cannot deal with him, he cannot cause any damage to the White Wolf King either. Because his attack power is only more than 30 points, he cannot break the defense at all. So far, Bai Ming has not suffered any damage. This gives people the feeling that they are playing a fake match. Yes, they are playing a fake match. Both sides seem to be working very hard, but there is no actual effect. Isn't this just acting? On the current battlefield, Gong Zheng is relaxed, Ayub is miserable, and Wang Shuo is embarrassed. The others can only be described as miserable. The golden armored warrior, because he is just a puppet, cannot be compared with the beetle boss in terms of combat flexibility. At this time, he is already missing arms and legs. One arm is broken, and a piece of the thigh is bitten off. The durability is only 1,200 points. Wang Shuo took a look and felt heartbroken. After this battle, the golden armored warrior is probably going to be scrapped. As for others, such as Gilaji and others, they can only rely on taking drugs to constantly avoid the boss's attacks. Even so, they are also in danger. The militia team is even worse. 2 people have died, and the rest are also injured. They can only rely on taking drugs and being chased around by the boss. At this moment, the system prompt sounded. Your subordinate Li Jiangguo killed the level 20 bronze boss, Wild Antelope, ID, Sheep 36,234 Cress. This news is really exciting. In this desperate battlefield, it is undoubtedly a shot of adrenaline. Wang Shuo took a moment to take a look at the fallen Cress, and his brows relaxed a little. This is the second boss killed. Lord Survival, My Shelter in Crocodile Territory. Author, Qi Wen. Chapter 105. At this moment, Wang Shuo caught a glimpse of Dongfang Ling. Just now, the beetle boss had cut the golden armored warrior in half with one bite, and the golden armored warrior that was broken into 2 pieces was still emitting white smoke. Looking at the puppet fragments on the ground, this also directly announced that the golden armored warrior who had provided Wang Shuo with huge military support was officially scrapped. In this way, the beetle boss that no one dealt with became a huge variable. Just as Wang Shuo was worried, he saw Dongfang Ling move and take over the position of the golden armored warrior and confront the beetle boss. Dongfang Ling used a long rope prop to tie a beetle boss in place. Although she could not cause much damage to the beetle boss, at least she had destroyed a boss. Wang Shuo then remembered that he seemed to have another control skill. He looked back at the blue and white python and activated the iron chain binding skill. This kind of directional skill basically rarely fails. Seeing the python tied up in place, Wang Shuo shouted loudly, I need support, all ranged, focus on the python. Received, Lord. Lajal and Li Jiangguo, who were in charge of the energy tower, immediately poured all their firepower on the blue and white python. -1,800. -600. Wang Shuo looked at the python struggling violently, and had an ominous premonition in his heart. It seemed that he couldn't tie her up for 10 seconds. No. The firepower output must be increased. He took out 10 more thunder bombs from his backpack and threw them at the python. Bang! Bang! The explosions continued, and the blue and white python was covered with wounds, and its health value dropped rapidly. Another bronze spear pierced her head, and the blue and white python's health value was immediately reset to 0. Your subordinate Li Jiangguo killed the level 21 bronze boss, blue and white python, ID, Snake 10,217 Unina. At this point, the third bronze boss fell. Wang Shuo was in a good mood. 3 had already fallen. How far would the fourth be? Seeing the items bursting on the ground, Wang Shuo thought it was better to pick them up first. In case there were things that could be used immediately, it would also enhance the combat power. Giant Python Gallbladder add 1, Advanced Venom Fang add 2, Energy Crystal add 100, Soul Crystal add 3. Giant Python Gallbladder, after taking it, it provides all attributes add 2. Wang Shuo ate it immediately, and he also took one of the 5 agility enhancement pills he had received before. Now he can't miss it if he can enhance his strength even a little bit. With then he picked up the items dropped by the wild antelope. Antelope Horn add 2, Advanced Storage Backpack, Antelope Stomach, add 1, Energy Crystal add 100, Soul Crystal add 2. Advanced Storage Backpack, Antelope Stomach provides 10,000 grids of backpack space. Antelope Horns and Advanced Fangs are both advanced materials. They seem to be used to make special equipment. Their uses are not yet known. After collecting the items, Wang Shuo quickly joined other battles. A few minutes ago, when the outer wall collapsed, Fang Kai and others also became nervous. If we don't save people, I'm afraid it will be too late. Zhang Jinsheng was as anxious as an ant on a hot pot, constantly urging Fang Kai. The main reason was that among the 4 people, Fang Kai's the strongest, although his level is not as high as Xiefan's 26th level. But he has high qualifications, and he has changed his job to a military general, and his attributes have been enhanced again. Wait a little longer, Fang Kai is patient. Fang Kai, Xiefan, and Zhang Jinsheng are both good friends and rivals in love. Although Fang Kai is Dong Fangling's guard, his status is not low. His father is the general manager of Qingyang Mansion and holds huge power. The reason why he is so patient at this moment is mainly because he wants to play a trick of a hero saving a beauty. Going too early will not achieve the effect, and going too late will be afraid that Dong Fangling will be in trouble. Fang Kai's heart is also very nervous. And Xiefan and Zhang Jinsheng are similar, holding the same idea. Only Su Qing is really anxious, but what use it? How could she not know the thoughts of these 3 men? They were always scheming against each other and sabotaging each other. Now that they were together, it was good enough that they didn't fight. If we don't go now, it might be too late. Su Qing stamped her feet anxiously. Okay, let's go, save the people and leave, don't fight. After Fang Kai finished speaking, he swung his right arm, and a long sword suddenly appeared in his hand. The silver-white sword flashed with dazzling light. Then he moved his body, leaving a residual image on the spot, and he was already 10 meters away. Zhang Jinsheng also touched his bright forehead, took out a golden long stick from his backpack, and laughed, "We'll catch up soon." Su Qing and Xiefan did not hesitate at all and quickly followed. Lord Survival, My Shelter in Crocodile Territory. Author, Qi Wen. Chapter 106. Around Wana village, there were piles of beast corpses, emitting a strong smell of blood. In the pile of corpses, several bosses and Wang Shuo's generals were fighting fiercely. Wang Shuo, who had collected the spoils, swept through the remaining bosses one by one. White wolf, tiger, spider, wild bull, beetle, giant ape. Each one looked difficult to deal with. At this time, the militia and cavalry squads were under great pressure. 20 militiamen, 3 of them had already died. They could only take turns to resist damage and then take drugs to replenish their health. Although the cavalry squad had better levels and equipment, they were fewer in number and faced 2 bosses directly, which was also extremely dangerous at this time. In the end, Wang Shuo chose the spider boss and chose to reduce the pressure on the cavalry squad. "You focus on dealing with the giant ape, and leave this spider to me." The spider boss in front of him was 4 meters tall, and his 8 long legs with thick heads were covered with fine hair. A closer look revealed that it was not fluff at all, but steel needles. Her face was full of ferocity, revealing her fierceness. "Just you," the spider boss sneered contemptuously, with a very contemptuous tone. Without seeing her move, a spider silk drew a beautiful arc in the air and rushed straight to Wang Shuo's face. Wang Shuo did not dare to despise it, and immediately focused his attention to deal with it, moving his body quickly to the left, barely avoiding the attack. In order not to be tied up by the spider silk, Wang Shuo had to move around, rolling left and right, and constantly avoiding it. Suddenly, the spider boss pounced, opened its huge mouthparts, aimed at Wang Shuo, and bit down. At this critical moment, Wang Shuo rolled forward and came to the spider's abdomen. The 8 thick long legs around it were like 8 pillars, supporting a huge body. Wang Shuo entered her blind spot at this time, and he did not hesitate to stab upwards with the flaming spear. The spear pierced the hard shell of the spider's abdomen. The spider boss felt pain, slightly bent her legs, and jumped suddenly. The spear was pulled out of her body, leaving a fist-sized hole. A foul-smelling fluid fell in the air. Suddenly, the bloody air was mixed with a foul smell. "Ah! I'm going to kill you!" The spider boss screamed, with anger in her eyes, and her eyes were about to spit fire. Although this attack only caused 100 points of damage to the spider boss, it was not worth mentioning for her more than 8,000 health points. But the damage was not great, and it was extremely insulting. A small human actually caused her harm, which she could not tolerate. In an instant, a huge spider web spewed out from her mouth. It rushed towards Wang Shuo's head. Wang Shuo looked at the big web above his head and had no time to dodge, because the range of the spider web was too large, with a radius of more than 10 meters. Wang Shuo secretly groaned in his heart and could only gamble. Breath of flame. He wanted to try to see if he could use the skill to burn a hole in the spider web. After a moment, Wang Shuo showed disappointment on his face. His skill failed to destroy the strong spider web. Immediately, he was trapped in the web. At this moment, a bronze spear shot by Li Jiangguo pierced directly into the spider's body. -2000. The spider boss was directly repelled more than 10 meters by the huge force. Well done. The spider boss was repelled, finally giving Wang Shuo a chance to breathe. Just when Wang Shuo stood up and planned to clean the spider web on his body, 4 figures quickly approached. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Lord Survival, My Shelter in Crocodile Territory. Author, Qi Wen. Chapter 107. Sister Ling Er. Dongfang Ling looked up and found that her best friend Su Qing rushed over with Fang Kai and others. Miss, I'm late. Are you not injured? Fang Kai apologized and showed a concerned look. Ling Er. As soon as Xiefan finished speaking, Zhang Jinsheng choked, did you call Ling Er too? He came close to Dongfang Ling and saw that she was fine. He smiled and said, are you okay? Dongfang Ling saw the arrival of several people and showed a pleasant look on her face. She said excitedly, you came at the right time. Help to eliminate these bosses. Yes, miss. Okay. Su Qing and Dongfang Ling dealt with the beetles with thick skin and flesh together, while Fang Kai chose the bull. Xiefan went to the injured spider. The reason why he chose the spider boss was not because she was injured, but because he wanted to show his strong strength in front of Wang Shuo. In short, show off. Wang Shuo was stunned when he saw the few people who suddenly joined. Although the other party came to help him, he did not relax his vigilance against them. After cleaning the spider webs on his body, Wang Shuo also joined Ayub in the battle with the silver tiger. At this moment, the balance of victory in the battle with the boss began to tilt towards Wana village. The ordinary beasts around were basically cleared out. But the remaining bosses still had more than half of their health. The arrow tower once again used up all the arrows. The energy tower was almost reaching its limit. There were still a few spears left on the bronze crossbow cart. Wang Shuo also had more than 70 thunder bombs left. The long-range weapons were almost exhausted. The reason why there were so many thunder bombs left was mainly because there was no chance to use them. It was not that Wang Shuo did not want to use thunder bombs, but mainly because the bosses were too smart. It was difficult for thunder bombs to exert their due power. They must not be able to dodge in order to cause damage. Wang Shuo looked at his mental power and could use iron chain binding again. The skill was activated. The silver tiger Cade was immediately tied up by 4 black chains. Wang Shuo called for fire support again. Suddenly, another bronze spear flew out from the inner wall and pierced Cade. At the same time, he pushed him back several meters. Wang Shuo also seized the opportunity and immediately threw a thunder bomb. Sure enough, Cade slapped it away with one claw. Wang Shuo was a little disappointed. However, Ayub's big move hit him hard. It directly cut off one of his front legs. Roar! A tiger roared in the mountains and forests, and the sound spread all over the fields. Cade let out a shocking howl. Wang Shuo saw Ayub's attack, raised his eyebrows, and was overjoyed. He wanted to use a big move, but unfortunately his mental strength was not enough. He had to circle around Cade and look for his flaws. Another energy attack was fired from the sky. Cade's blood volume continued to decrease. Just when he was about to break free from the chains, Wang Shuo found an opportunity and threw 10 thunder bombs directly at him. Bang! Instantly, a huge explosion sounded under Cade. His body was blown to pieces, and he was deader than dead. You killed the level 24 silver boss, Tiger ID, Tiger 10031 Cade. Your level has been raised to level 21. Wang Shuo looked at the system prompt and it didn't say that he was the first to kill the silver boss. It seems that other players have taken the lead. Wang Shuo was not disappointed that he didn't get the full attribute reward. As long as he could win this battle, it didn't matter if there were any rewards. Wang Shuo walked over and picked up the items he exploded. Piercing bullet add 1, tiger bone add 1, energy crystal add 200, soul crystal add 5. Seeing these two special props, Wang Shuo was stunned. Lord Survival, My Shelter in Crocodile Territory. Author, Qi Wen. Chapter 108. Piercing Bomb, a powerful bomb with an explosion radius of 50 meters and 1 W damage. Wang Shuo's eyes almost popped out when he saw this introduction, and his hand holding the piercing bomb was shaking. This is simply a nuclear weapon. Wang Shuo calmed down. How can he calm down? The bronze crossbow car with the highest attack power he has seen so far only has an attack power of 2000. This piercing bomb can directly deal 1 W damage. A real killer. Wang Shuo carefully put it away, for fear that it would explode accidentally. Just when Wang Shuo was surprised, the other bosses were also killed one by Fang Kai and others. Wang Shuo glanced around and found that the items exploded by the boss were all taken away by them. He curled his lips and showed a look of contempt. The other silver boss saw that the situation was over and stopped entangled with Gongzhang, and ran away with his tail between his legs. Before leaving, he didn't even say a harsh word. The people of Wana village cheered immediately. Long live Wana village! The Lord is mighty! We survived, we won! I survived! The cheers of the people came one after another. However, several people in the know, such as Wang Shuo, Fang Kai and others, did not smile at all, but showed deep worries. Wang Shuo looked up in the direction of the golden boss. Toad Brunei seemed to feel something at this time and slowly opened his eyes. Now, how is the battle situation now? These little scums, are they all dead? Right, he looked a little lazy and yawned. The toad guard behind him replied tremblingly, My lord, no, there is only one left. It's time for me to warm up. Bai Ming ran over in a panic and said to Brunei, My lord, the other side is too strong. We didn't fight them. They are all dead. They are all dead, how are you still alive? Brunei glared at him with his huge eyes and scolded. Without any warning, his tongue rolled. Bai Ming was entangled by Brunei's tongue, which was thicker than a bucket, and he entered his mouth with a light pull. The white wolf, which was nearly 10 meters long, did not seem crowded in his mouth at all. Brunei even chewed it twice before swallowing it. It tastes so-so. Just treat it as an appetizer. Next, it's time to really enjoy the delicious food. In his eyes, humans and ordinary beasts are just food. He pushed his hind legs hard, and his mountain-like body jumped directly into the air, at least 3 stories high. The distance reached hundreds of meters. The moment he landed, the ground shook, as if there was an earthquake. Feel the vibration of the ground. just when others were still confused. Fang Kai was the first to react and said to Dongfang Ling, "Miss, you see there is nothing here, let's leave quickly. This time, Lord Qingyang has given us a mission." "What mission?" Dongfang Ling's eyes lit up and showed interest. Because she got in by stealing someone else's opportunity, she didn't know what the mission was. "The Lord sent us here." Before Fang Kai finished speaking, he saw the golden boss toad leap into the air. The huge body of the toad, like a flying hill, scared him directly. This is definitely not an ordinary golden boss. Even if Niwu was here, he could only flee. Fang Kai pulled Dongfang Ling and was about to leave. Lord Survival, My Shelter in Crocodile Territory. Author, Qi Wen. Chapter 109. What are you doing? You're running away before you even fight the boss. I look down on you. Didn't we just kill a lot of bosses? Dongfang Ling broke free from Fang Kai's hand and glanced at him with contempt. At the same time, she was eager to try. She hadn't faced the golden boss head on yet. "Miss, this is different. Let's get out of here," Fang Kai hid his inner fear. Although he tried his best to cover it up, he still said it in an anxious tone. He had participated in countless battles. He had only seen his father kill a boss of this level once. That time, he was deeply impressed. At that time, he couldn't even get close. "No, I want to meet this toad." Dongfang Ling once again showed her temper. The more she was told not to do something, the more she wanted to do it. "Sister Ling, how about we withdraw first?" Su Qing was also a little nervous and whispered to comfort her. "Don't be afraid, it's okay." Dongfang Ling was obviously a little confident. Just as several people were arguing. Brunei was less than 100 meters away from Wana village. He jumped directly onto the inner wall of Wana village. The light wall with a durability of up to 10,000 only lasted for a few breaths before it was directly crushed. Fortunately, it lasted for a few breaths, so the people hiding inside had time to escape, and no large number of casualties were caused. However, 4 people were still crushed to death. The village-level administrative center was also half collapsed. Even the ground was sunken nearly 1 meter deep. Suddenly, a burst of dust flew. Strangely, no shouting was heard. Everyone. At this time, they were silent. Brunei glanced at the humans around him. It was like a toad looking at a ladybug. With a roll of his tongue, the militia captain Hua Tianxiang was swallowed directly into his mouth. He didn't even call for help. It was not until this time that people's exclamations and cries were mixed together. Wang Shuo was also shocked at this time. Human taste is really delicious. Brunei rolled up 3 more people and swallowed them into his mouth, then he showed a satisfied look. "Who is Wang Shuo? Before I eat you, I still want to get to know you." The voice of the toad was like a bell, resounding in everyone's ears, vibrating the eardrums a little painful. At this time, everyone was shocked. Our Lord was actually named by this toad. Some people turned their heads unconsciously to look at Wang Shuo, wanting to see what their Lord had in mind that was worthy of the toad's attention. This look directly exposed Wang Shuo's position. Wang Shuo came back to his senses and thought to himself that it was not good. "Are you Wang Shuo?" Brunei showed a strange look, and his sharp eyes seemed to see through Wang Shuo's soul. Brunei did this. First, to avenge his descendant Wen Tai, who was separated by who knows how many generations. Second, he wanted to confirm Wang Shuo's identity. After all, this was a task that the Iron Blood Lord had specifically assigned him. This task was naturally agreed to by Lord Zack. As long as Wang Shuo was killed, he would have exceeded the target for this beast attack on the village. If Wang Shuo was not killed, then at least 90% of the player territories in Changping County would have to be destroyed to be considered excellent. Moreover, killing Wang Shuo would help him befriend the Iron Blood Lord, which would be good for his tribe. As for the life and death of other beasts, or even the silver boss, what did it have to do with him? Wangshuo saw that he could no longer escape, so he had to admit it. Okay, you can go and die. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Lord Survival, My Shelter in Crocodile Territory. Author, Chi Wen. Chapter 110. There is really no nonsense. As soon as he finished speaking, Brunei stuck out his tongue again and came straight to Wangshuo. This tongue, which is thicker than a bucket, is no joke. It shoots out in the air, creating a gust of wind in the surrounding air. Lord. Seeing this sharp blow, Wangshuo's mind went blank. He seemed to have been restrained and unable to move at all. With this attack, Brunei directly launched the skill Giant Tongue attack. As for why Wangshuo couldn't move, it was because of his other skill Deterrence. All targets he attacks will be deterred. This is also the reason why Bai Ming was easily swallowed up by Brunei even though he was already the silver boss. Brunei's attack came without any warning, and basically no one reacted. Dongfang Ling was far away from Wangshuo. When she saw this blow, she suddenly felt an inexplicable pain in her heart. He opened his mouth, but no sound came out. However, among Wangshuo's subjects, there was still Ayub, who was extremely skilled in combat and was closest to Wangshuo, and he reacted. At this critical moment, he jumped into the air, holding the green dragon sword tightly with both hands. A shocking blow was made. This move is obviously to encircle Wei and save Zhao. If Brunei's tongue does not change direction, it risks being severed. Just when Wangshuo thought he was saved, Brunei's tongue didn't change direction and still hit him. Everyone, especially Ayub, couldn't figure out why Brunei didn't choose to give up this attack. In the blink of an eye, everyone got the answer. Because his tongue is as hard as a golden weapon. He was not afraid of Ayub's chops at all. However, Ayub's attack still slightly changed the direction of his tongue. Wangshuo was only hit in the abdomen. Since he was also wearing high-grade crocodile leather armor, his body was not penetrated. The huge impact directly knocked him dozens of meters away. Of his nearly 3,000 health points, only a layer of blood skin remained, less than 200 points. Moreover, his body was severely damaged and he almost lost the ability to fight again. Lord. Gong Zheng's eyes were red and his teeth were bared. Duan Wengzi's brows drooped and he was about to cry. Gulji, Li Jiangguo and others were all shocked and could not hide their grief. Just when everyone thought Wangshuo was dead, he raised his right hand with difficulty. I really want to say, I'm not dead yet, I can still be saved. But he didn't make any sound. Just this simple movement seemed to have exhausted all his strength. The Lord is still alive. Dongfang Ling also breathed a sigh of relief. The moment Gong Zheng flew out of Wangshuo, he ran straight over. Lifting Wangshuo's head and holding him in his arms, Gong Zheng quickly took out the big red medicine. They stuffed them into Wangshuo's mouth one by one. Dongfang Ling saw that Wangshuo was seriously injured and ran over quickly. As he ran, he cursed angrily, "Damn stinky toad." Brunei couldn't believe his ears. Someone actually dared to call him a stinky toad. This is the sentence he hates the most. The last time he heard this sentence was when he had just become a bronze boss. He got angry and the consequences were serious. He immediately turned around and found the person who scolded him. After taking the red medicine, Wangshuo finally regained some strength. Slow down, hey, I can't even swallow it." After a while, Wangshuo said feebly. He sat up and barely regained some mobility. He looked up and checked the attributes of the golden boss. Toad, ID, Frog 00001 Brunei, Golden Boss. Level 30. Attack power, 998. Defense, 400. Health value, 30,000. Skills, Deterrence, Passive, Giant Tongue Attack, Overwhelming. See such appalling properties. Damn it! Damn it! I'm so excited. Wang Shuo was extremely shocked. Lord Survival, My Shelter in Crocodile Territory. Author, Qi Wen. Chapter 111. No wonder he could collapse the 1W durable light wall. It turns out there is a skill called Mount Tai's Pressure. Just when Wang Shuo was in a state of shock, Brunei attacked again. Giant tongue attacks. This time it went straight to Dongfang Ling. Fang Kai and others were also intimidated because they were too close to Dongfang Ling. But Fang Kai's level was higher, and he also changed his job to a general. So he quickly broke free from the shackles of intimidation. But it was too late. Fang Kai and others were directly knocked away. Dongfang Ling was not. She was directly pierced through the heart by a spike extending from the end of the giant tongue. She was not even able to take out a defensive item. Her health value dropped directly to 0. Wang Shuo just sat up and saw this scene. He couldn't believe his eyes. In an instant, his face changed drastically, as pale as paper. He felt empty in his heart. I can't tell what it was like. Dongfang Ling's body slowly dissipated, as if she had never appeared. Before leaving, she glanced at Wang Shuo. Her eyes were intriguing. After Fang Kai and others got up, they looked at each other and turned around and ran. The attack of this golden boss was too terrible, and they were completely unable to resist it. Just after Xiefan and others left, Gongzheng also stood in front of Wang Shuo. The protective shield in his hand was turned on. At the same time, the petrification skill was activated. Petrification, the whole body is covered with hard petrified skin, defense add 100, the body size becomes 1 times larger, the strength increases by 2 times, and the physical fitness increases by 10 times. In an instant, his body size doubled, his height reached an astonishing 4.5 meters, and his body skin turned into gray rock. Although he turned into stone, his body flexibility did not decrease. The most important thing is that his health value reached a terrifying 22,800 points. His original physical fitness was 210 points, which increased by 10 times, which was even more exaggerated than the silver boss. The defense power also increased to 220 points. It was comparable to an ordinary bronze boss. Brunei saw the stone man in front of him with disdain in his eyes. With a piercing long tongue, he came straight to Gongzheng with unparalleled ferocity. Gongzheng did not use any skills and directly resisted the attack. Because he had activated the body shield, there was no weakness. Attacking any part of the body would deduct the same amount of health. Minus 5,000. A huge amount of damage suddenly appeared on Gongzheng's head. Wang Shuo was stunned. He realized that the damage of the attack just now was so high. Gongzheng also felt that he was a little arrogant at this time. So he put the shield on his chest. Soon, Toad Brunei launched a crazy and fierce attack. Gongzheng kept using skills such as blocking, damage rebound, and life feedback. But he could not stop the fact that his health value kept decreasing. More importantly, everyone had no means to attack Toad Brunei. If the stalemate continued, everyone would still be swallowed. Fang Kai and others who had fled to a distance did not leave immediately, but hid in the distance and watched. They were so surprised to see Gongzheng transformed into a stone man that they could not speak. Not long after, the people of Wana village were in despair. From the joy of killing K to the complete despair at this time. Some people inevitably felt that they were teased by fate. Wang Shuo's head was spinning rapidly at this time. If his head was a CPU, it should have smoked by now. Ayub stood by and could only worry, not daring to attack close.